And yeah, we're in for some fun down here. Just looking around at everything to do and the massive cobwebs that have developed. So I'm back in at a regular time today, and it is beautiful out. You'll see it's a little bit sweater weather, and that's awesome for what I think we're going to do. In fact, what I know we're doing. So I got this yesterday. So this is the underground gas line that we're going to be throwing in. And this is the trenching machine that I ordered. I just said we're trenching and she picked up a shovel. And here we go.
Saving money?
Yeah, but you're not to depth.
You didn't tell me to go to depth. You said just do this one and you'll come back with the trenching shovel. One.
I did say that. So I got this skinny shovel. And this is amazing and deep for doing trenches. And the reason, yeah, I've only got one of these shovels, and if both of us are working on it, I thought it would be okay for her to take care of that. And that's just taking out the top where a lot of the roots and the grass are, and it makes it a lot easier to go through with the trencher. So if you're thinking I got her to do the hard work, yeah and no, but mostly yeah. But do I feel bad? No. Do I feel suddenly more appreciated? Absolutely. But deep down I know she's loving it. She likes it. It's what's the word, cathartic?
Yeah. Did you show them?
And she's
got over there?
Yeah, I'm gonna hop over there in a sec. So watch how she uses it like a pogo stick. Yep, that's right.
How are you supposed to use it?
Well, that's definitely, well, not the way I use it, but I'm enjoying it.
Well, I don't know how to use it otherwise. Like just 1 foot?
Yeah.
That's as far down as it goes.
There, hold the camera. I'll show you, because the thing about that is it's more energy to do the pogo stick.
Okay.
Right, so you know you got to think about conserving energy if you're going to be doing this, say, all day. So yeah, you give it a good jolt. But then you wiggle it.
Okay.
And you go further.
Oh. Nobody's ever taught me how to use a shovel before.
Nope, most people have never been taught. But yeah, that's pretty much it. And you see, very minimal effort.
Alright, you're taking my job. I need my job security back.
Union rules.
I like my gloves, Myron.
Yeah,
Like
and lots of them.
I like them. I like how there's a million of them, so I can never lose them.
But I have been finding some around the yard. Well, I was finding my entry point. I already went downstairs and measured out where I want it to come in. So I'm not going to drill through just yet, but I'm going to get the trench up to it. So I got to cut a piece and thread it, and that'll just be a fun thing we're getting into in a little bit. So I'm going to go ahead and set up and get right to it. That's a bit of work. So I'm running out of daylight here. Got maybe an hour left. So I'm gonna do the tie into the house tomorrow. And I'm gonna keep going along this path for whatever daylight I got left. So this hole is anywhere from 20 to 24 inches deep. All the way down. And there it is. So I barely missed that rock. I did have another one I pulled out, not quite as big. So there's your reference. They happen every now and again. So here's where we're at. So let's see how much further we get before the end of the day. So that's it for out here. It's already getting dark, but I can keep things going inside. There's lots of work to do in there. So the very first piece, and I'm just gonna mark this out. So I've already picked a spot from the inside where I want to go, and my reference point is right here off this window. It's right here. That looks about right. So I'm gonna drill through, and here's where our stub out is going. Now, not 100% sure I like this spot.
Why not?
We got the window well going in here. I can bring it way over. A little more trenching. I guess we're used to it.
Well,
actually, you know what? If I go right about here, I know what's behind here, and I can make it through. So,
can you move that red thing?
Yeah.
My hands are full.
That's about right. There goes nothing.
Are you going through concrete or wood?
That's wood right there, so that's the rim joist. So I brought out my long extension rod. There you are. So once I get into there, it's a really small cavity, and there's only about 2 inches to move my hand in now, so there's no way I'm really gonna, get a gas fitting on there properly. So I'm gonna go in to the next joist with this, and the trick will be making sure I go in nice and straight. I can ream the hole if I have to, but you'd rather not. Just make sure I'm actually hitting wood. That's it. I'm gonna because it's just short of getting the black pipe through. There we go. We're ready to get going inside because that's the first piece on, and everything else is going to connect to it. If I start from the other direction, it's going to be a bigger challenge trying to get that last piece in. So let's get started inside. So I'm in the basement, and it's now much later than I last left you. Yeah, it took me way longer to get set up for this than I anticipated. Unfortunately, I wasn't as prepared as I thought I was. So I finally got things ready, and I'm probably not going to make it that far in tonight, but I did get it started. So I got the stub out, and I'm going to start from there and follow it along. And I'm basically going to junction off to the furnace and then into the laundry room. And from the laundry room, we're going to feed 3 different appliances back here. So we're going to have the, whatchamacallit, the, drawing a blank on there. The laundry dryer. Oh, the dryer, right. The water heater, and coming up over here, pretty much in line with the dryer, I'm going to stub up for the oven. So, yeah, as you can tell, I'm a little tired. So we'll see how far I get in today. Probably not too much, but enough to get it started and get me rolling, make sure I know what's going on. So typical order of operation. I will I'll get everything out, I'll get set up, and even do a little arranging, make sure everything's clean and organized before I start the camera. So the basement hasn't been touched in a long time. So there was a lot of stuff in the way. I had to move it out of the way. I had to get all the fittings together. Had no idea how disorganized I was there. Most of it was well organized, but it was like this piece, that piece. Had to go looking for it. And the tools I needed, had to dig those up, had to blow some dust off a little bit of it. Pipe threader, for instance, that was a that was a struggle to find. It was buried deep because I almost never get into anything like that. So at any rate, we're set up, and I'm excited to show you the setup and then go home and sleep. So if you've followed us this far, don't forget to hit that like button if you haven't already, subscribe if you haven't already, and share it just because you can. So let's get back to it. Alright, so here's my setup, and it's very, very makeshift, but like I said, it's once in a very rare blue moon that I expect to be working on anything like this. So I'm not making a permanent setup, I'm not buying the special pipe clamp. And we are making do. Right. So, one thing I will say, if you are threading your own pipes, you need a tremendous amount of pressure to hold these pipes down. I tried the minimal amount of pressure to start, and I worked up and up and up. And yeah. When you're threading these pipes, as you'll see when I actually get to the process, it takes a lot of pressure to hold these down as you're threading it. The threading isn't so bad, but keeping it from turning is awful. So one thing I will say, if you are doing your own black pipes, when you buy them, I've noticed, I've never used the service, but you know, at places like Home Depot or Lowe's or any of those places, they have threading machines there, and I'm pretty sure, I don't know if it's an upcharge, it's probably like, you know, when you get panels cut, they just do it, which is, I've actually used that service, believe it or not, but it might be worth looking into. I have a threading, a manual threader. That's this little unit right here. And yeah, it takes a little bit of arm strength. It gets the job done. It's not super fast, but it definitely works. So that's what we're using here. I don't have too many pipes to thread, and I probably never will have that many. So this is more than enough for me. I got this on Amazon. I think it came with a set, actually. It came with a whole bunch of dies. It's Vivor or Vivor, whatever people call it. I call it Vivor because I'm fancy. I think it was like 60 bucks or something. And yeah, it's got all the dies I could use, and I can thread my own pipes, which is extremely handy. So I'm gonna go ahead and thread this end, and then I'm gonna cut it off at the measurement. I don't want to forget, I'm gonna mark that down right now, 14¾ and then I'm gonna turn it around and thread the other end. So you're gonna see it's a bit of a process. It is a pain in the butt, but the benefit is if you're not like 14¾ you can't buy a 14¾ length. So you can get that cut if you're really good at planning. You can go in and get that cut. But for me, you know, I'm piping the entire house right now. So the big pain of that is, you know, it's very hard to plan because, you know, you also have to plan, you know, every 10 feet or every 21 feet, depending on what lengths you're getting. You know, you got a union joint, and you got this, that, you know, you got tee off at places, and it's a real pain, and nearly impossible to get it right, to, you know, mark down these measurements, get them done in the store. So that's why I kind of opted to, you know, just thread them myself. You know, I can just order in standard lengths and get it done. So at any rate, I'm going to thread this end, and then I'm going to cut it off 14¾ and for that I'm just going to use a very standard pipe cutter. This is a little bit bigger than, you know, the ones I use for the copper pipes. I usually use smaller ones. It's a bit bigger. It works well enough. Once again, it's not the most efficient way. There's chain cutters, other things that you know, professionals use. I'm not a professional pipe fitter, and I know that I would say 99% of the viewers are not as well. So this does cut the pipe. It takes a little while, it takes a little patience, but if you're doing it for your own personal project, that's fine. And just like that, using one of these, that's fine. So let's get started. Now, as I said, it takes a ton of clamping pressure. So I'm going to make sure that it's down quite a ways. Obviously, I don't want to bend the pipe. Not too much risk of that, but I do want to be cautious of it because it can. This will bend before the handle bends. So I've also got the appropriate thread cutting oil. This here. Now, I have seen a number of other people, they use WD-40 or other things. I'm mostly just doing it properly because this is actually cheaper than WD-40, and also because I'm doing it on video, I want to set a good example. Like I said, I'm not a professional pipe fitter, but I'll do things proper as often as I can. I know that what I'm doing is going to be passable, and it's going to work. It's not going to leak. If it does leak, we're going to go over how I inspect to make sure there are no leaks. So I put it in. On this end here, it catches the pipe. It's the right diameter. And on this end, it's got the actual threading portion. And I'm going to go just so the pipe reaches the end of the die. It's about 3/4 long. And I'm going to be oiling it as I go. That's just going to help things along tremendously. Just like that, it's already started. So as more of the die catches, it's going to start to get tougher to turn. Just make sure I'm actually in the camera. I'm not. Wow, that's great. So, you know, I could really use a production crew like some of my contemporaries out there, because as you see me, I don't see what you're seeing, and it's cost me a lot of footage in the past. So I'm just going to throw a couple drops in every now and then and keep it going. And you want to keep up with that cutting oil because it helps a lot to make sure you're moving smoothly. If you start running dry, you will feel it. Okay, so I've made it all the way to the end. I turn this around, and that reverses. Machine. There we go. And I want to take it out nice and smooth. I don't want to cross thread or anything. If I feel any friction, I'm going to stop and make sure I move without cutting any more of the thread off. All right. So after that, there we go. So that's it there. We got a threaded end. All right. This will do it. Every turn, go cord around, quarter turn. And it's going to take a while, but we'll get it done. So this, by the way, spring-loaded pipe wrench. This is a really super awesome tool that Crescent came out with. Not a sponsor of the video, just something I am very pleased to tell people. I have loved this tool. See how I just move around? I don't have to adjust anything. It's awesome. It's awesome. What is up, guys? So that's what I'm going to maybe one more after this. So I was very eager to get this hole filled in because the longer it stays out, the more it just fills in on its own without the pipe in. So now it's getting filled in. Haven't got too long to go. This is a old stump here that I got to remove, but that'll just come out with the Sawzall. And then I'm already down this far, and I've only got to go to there, and this is pretty much all clear sand here, so this shouldn't take too long at all. So let's get this done, and we're expecting a little bit of rain tomorrow, so if I don't get this done now, I might find myself in a small world of regret. So it's dark out now, but we did get the line in, and I don't have to do this particular part at this particular phase. I could just bury it and test it after, but I prefer to throw some pressure on the line and test it while it's still exposed and easy, because there's only 2 joints on this. There's a joint here and at the other end, and everything in the middle is just one solid line, which is probably the best part of using this tubing, and that is really, really stuck on there. So because this is just temporary, I've already made it. I'm just going to cap this end, and I'm just going to use the Teflon tape, and this is actually a gas rated Teflon tape. You're not supposed to use this instead of the dope for the most part. There are certain applications this is fine for, but for the most part, when you're doing the black pipe, stick to the dope. But this here is just nice because when I take these fittings off, I'm going to want to reuse them, and tape comes off easy. The dope can leave a little bit of a mess, so that's really the only reason I'm opting for this. And there we go. I don't actually have any 1-inch caps, but that's all right. I love this tool. Okay, gonna hop over to the other side and get our pressure tester on. Alright. Xana did a lot of backfilling. She's already got half of it done. She did that all by herself too, while the kids did help on and off. Look at that, it's already nice and flat. we got grading to do here, so this ain't too bad. And over there we got a little bonfire going. So they got sunlight for us. All right, and up here it's just got a valve, same as a car tire. So I'm gonna bring the air hose around and we'll fill this up. Should be sealed inside. All right, that's really annoying. I think my test gauge is leaking, so I couldn't. I'm gonna have to go at it tomorrow. I'll throw some soap on it and see if it's actually leaking, or maybe one of the fittings is leaking, in which case that's why we test before we cover everything up. So I'll check it then. In the meantime, I'm gonna have some dinner. We got the line down, and that was a solid line, so I'm not super concerned about leaks where we've already buried it back. But yeah, I've basically just got the two fittings underground. Those are the only things I should really have to worry about, unless I bought defective outlets or risers. I mean, those are the pieces that curve and come up. Those are called risers. So who knows? But that's why we test. All right, so we're back in the basement, and yeah, we're in for some fun down here. Just looking around at everything to do and the massive cobwebs that have developed. Pretty horrendous down here, really. So yeah, the outside is all done. The trench is the trench was dug. We got the line in. It's filled in with exception to the ends. I still have to do that pressure test. I did find my my 3/4 tester, so I'm going to put that on instead. See if I get better results. Otherwise, I'm still going to put the soap on and make sure there's no bubbles. And yeah, I'm going to get some pressure in there and make sure the pressure lasts. That's important. And with that done, we're ready to focus primarily on the inside. I'm pretty tired after doing all that digging. I was in a hurry because we do have some rain in the forecast for tomorrow. And if it rains, that's very sandy soil. It'll fill in real quick, and all that hard work will disappear just as quick. So I'm really happy to see it as it is. The most I'd have to do is maybe clean up a little bit in what I left exposed for my pressure test. But apart from that, we're good to go. And down here, I'm pretty optimistic. So I did a little bit of the finagling. I've already made the piece that goes in here. That's also going to, I'll just show you. So we got this piece here, and I've already kind of pre-assembled it. It's all doped up. So what I'm going to have to do is drop this pipe down, and then I'll put this on, and then once it's up here, I can adjust it to where I want it to go. So it's going to travel through this joist space, and it's going to come down over here and tie into the furnace. That's the old propane line that'll get removed permanently. And after I do that, whenever I get around to it, the natural gas conversion kit is still here. I'll be installing that at some point. And then I just got a long run into the laundry room here. And once in the laundry room, this is where the bulk of the work is going to take place. But once again, I don't think it'll be that bad. It's pretty late today, so I won't get it done. I could almost certainly guarantee that. Unless I want to just be a zombie tomorrow. I don't really want to do that. So I'm gonna get as far as I can in a reasonable time frame, and we'll see what happens. So if you've been with us this far, don't forget all the usual messages: like, share, subscribe, hit those buttons, hit all the buttons. And yeah, let's get to it. So you may have noticed from that last video there, it suddenly turned to day. I have a lot of shirts the same color. I think I was wearing the same color yesterday, so it was a nice seamless transition. But yeah, it's tomorrow morning. Now, when I came in this morning, I found the other pressure tester, put it on, and this one, yeah, the gauge was broken on the last one, but the seal wasn't. What actually happened is that fitting I got down there, so on either side there's actually an O-ring inside, and I wasn't quite up to it. I don't know how I did that. I must have just pulled it out before I tightened it or something. But that's why we do the pressure testing, because that was leaking like a sieve. It couldn't hold any amount of air. So I did that this morning. It's been quite some time now, and the gauge has not moved. I put in exactly 20 pounds. There is still exactly 20 pounds after about, I think it's been 8 hours, 9 hours. So I'm pretty confident with that. Yeah, we're looking good. So I can start hooking this up, and you'll get to see that in the next video. Till then, we'll see ya.